going to be different courses offered in Tefillah, in the Parsha. We do Hallel, usually musical Hallel. We get together with Tefillot for Am Yisrael and Shiurim Chizuk. Actually, tonight, my friend Devorah Gottfried is giving an amazing class tonight on the Parsha. Tomorrow night, we're going to do a Fashat Chala and commemorate the Hilulah of Rachel Imenu. So join us for that. You'll see. I'll post the Zoom link, registration link in the chat. But with no further ado, I want to welcome my dear friend Mindy Wiesner. She's here all the way from Australia and is giving us this amazing class. She is a Kala teacher. She trains Kalas actually, and she is also trained in IFS, brain spotting. She is a clinical mental health counselor. I forgot who you were trained by, you'll tell them. And Baruch Hashem, she's really been able to help many, many women in their relationships with others. She is an incredible coach and mentor, and is going to offer us a taste of her course that she's offering now. It's a Unite Level 1 Mastering Relationship course that she's going to be offering. She'll talk to you about it. It'll be 13 weeks, going on for 13 weeks, Bezrat Hashem, and she's here to give us a taste of the triple Y method, where you get to hear a little bit more about how you can release those negative emotions and learn how to communicate better. So with no further ado, Mindy Wiesner, welcome.
Welcome on. Before we continue, did you want me to record, or it's being recorded?
It's being recorded right now on my YouTube channel, so I'll be able to give the links.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. Karen Miller, thank you. Such a pleasure to be here with you after working with you
Back the drop so we see your whole face, because you're getting cut off with the camera. Yeah, that's better.
After working with you for just a few weeks, I'm so grateful to have gotten to know you. My life has been upgraded hugely.
Oh, thank you.
And I appreciate.
If anybody wants, I also do marketing. So I've been helping Mindy with marketing her course. So if anybody needs help with marketing and advertising, you can reach out to me. I'll put my information in the chat.
Yes, 100%. 100%. If anybody wants to ask me for any testimonial, I'm ready to give it. And I'm very grateful. So, whenever I hear a speaker speak, I'm always curious, like, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? I want to know who you are, and where do you come from, and how do you come across this information, and what's your story, basically? So I'll just share a few things about me so you can get to know me a little bit. I grew up in Melbourne, Australia. My parents owned a catering company and a takeaway shop, and their house was a very open home, and I'm so grateful for that, because I got to meet so many different types of people, and I really got to appreciate every person, not because of what they were wearing on their head or off their head, but rather because of the neshama that was inside of them. And I felt like this really gave me an understanding into the human nature, for me to realize that we're all pretty much the same underneath it all. Even though we look different on the outside, there is so much that we can resonate and connect to. And I'm grateful for the work that I do. So I grew up in a community school, which was also quite diverse. And then I got married to the boy across the road. So when that happened, and I realized, whoa, there's challenges, even when you don't marry somebody across the ocean, and the mentality is pretty much so similar. Well, if there's challenges there, then it must be that there are challenges in everybody's marriage, or so I have seen. And I began to look in this further, because although I had an incredible relationship with my color teacher, I felt like I wanted to offer an experience that was in line with the way women were working. Not how I should tell my colors how to feel, but rather I should be with them in what they're feeling and support them in the way that they needed to get support. And so I did my training, as Karen said, with Path of Yerushalayim. It was so special to be in Eretz Yisrael every single week and learn again and be in that atmosphere. I did it online, and then I went on to travel with to learn with IFS, internal family systems. I'm going to give you a little taste of that and brain spotting as well. We'll have a taste of that as well. And I've developed my course, which was originally for color teachers, but now this course is actually open for all women of all types. Any stage that you're at and any level that you're at, it doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter how young you are. I've had people from all stages and ages taking it, and it has been very powerful for them. So I hope that's a rounded enough information about where I'm coming from. And if you have any questions at the end and you want to ask me, that's totally fine. I'm happy to answer. So because you are here today, I want to offer you a free gift. It's a lecture that I've given on childhood emotional neglect, which I feel a lot of people are struggling with, and they don't even know that they're struggling with it because they think back on their childhood and they go, it's pretty okay, pretty normal. And when they hear about childhood emotional neglect, it's not about making a bigger deal or looking for issues in our childhood, but it's about understanding ourselves a little bit more. If it's something that resonates with you, great. I want you to listen to it. I want you to feel validated. And if it's something that doesn't particularly talk to you because you had a different type of childhood, that's okay. But I want you to know that you can have it. Whoever puts their email in the chat or emails me at mindle@livinginunity.au, MIND. Karen, you want to put my email address in the chat? Then I'll send it out to you. Okay, thank you. Great. All right, so let's get into it. What we're going to do is today, we're going to look at our lives and see what is working and what is not, and also why it isn't working and what we can do about it. So I want you to know that you are in the right place. If relationships are important to you, you seek to grow, you want to belong to a community of like-minded women. I think that's the whole idea of Love Ha'am and anything that us women are offering, because we're all looking to connect, to be a part of, to belong with people who think the same as us, because many of us are very lonely. And if you're looking to develop your relationships further. Now, I want everybody to know that if there is somebody that is experiencing difficulty in their marriage, where they're feeling confused or worried or afraid, then you are welcome to listen to this and to take things that are validating for you and important and you feel they can work for you. But I don't want you to be over here and say, oh, well, maybe this is the magic bullet that I'm going to bite into and I'm going to change my life forever. I want you to get the support that you need if you're in a challenging marriage, and to speak to somebody who has experience with this. Because when women do that, they take the leap when things are tough and they speak up for themselves, they can have a lot of hatzlacha. And when women are not looking at a relationship as it's a two-way street where, yes, I give, but I also receive, and they feel like, oh, I need to find another technique to do more in my relationship, and there's no coming back on the other end, that's that's not sustainable. So if you're in a healthy relationship and you're like, yes, my husband gives to me, I give to him, we get stuck, as every relationship does, because we all have our own challenges. However, I feel safe in the relationship. I'm not confused. I feel positive feelings to him. I feel that he feels the same way to me. Then this is something that can upgrade your life in a huge way. So right now, you might be on your way to achieving a really good relationship, and maybe you feel you're right there. Or maybe it's been one of those days where, or I guess it's already the morning, but you've been busy sending out the kids or taking care of others, and you haven't had a minute to breathe, even have your morning coffee and check in and see, where in the world am I? Maybe it was one of those days or mornings where people were just grating on your nerves and you felt you were like gonna pop. So what do we do when we're in that state? When we're in this state where we feel this is no good and I can't, and it's just too much for me. Well, sometimes we minimize, we go, oh, it's no big deal. So this reminds me of a young woman who came into my office one day and she said to me, he's really nice. I mean, I like him and he's so nice. And there's just one thing, it's not a big deal. And I stopped her right there because I caught her minimizing her situation. And I said to her, I want you to know that although this is not a big deal, in your heart and in your brain, this is taking up a big deal of space. Is that right? And as soon as I explained that to her, she calmed down. Because this is what we do. When we minimize, what ends up happening is the issue begins to start popping up and it becomes a bigger deal than it is. So we're minimizing in an attempt that it shouldn't be a big deal because it's not a big deal. But when we do that, we exacerbate the situation. A close sister to minimizing is fining. And when we do that, what ends up happening is we end up paying a fine. You know what fining is? When something happens and you're not so happy about it, and you go, oh, it's fine. I'm not going to make a big deal about it. Oh, it's fine. But know that when you say it's fine and it's not fine to your body, to your heart, to your gut, you are going to pay a fine for that. You're going to have to pay a price for that. It will either be you or somebody that you love, but a fine will have to be paid. Let me give you an example. It was the day after Yom Tov, and I was looking at all the leftovers and getting them all together. And there was a chop there and a few chops there. It wasn't the last chop. And I was thinking, oh, it would be so good to have a chop for dinner. That's what I'm in the mood of. And a part of me goes, well, maybe some other people want to have the chop. And I thought, yeah, Mindy, we know the cycle. You're not going to eat the chop and then it'll be after dinner and you're going to be hungry. Now, when you're hungry, even though you're saying now, I'll just make eggs and toast, big deal, I'm not so fussy. When you do that, then what ends up happening is you get hangry because you're not in the mood of eggs and toast if you imagined eating a delicious chop. And then from hangry to angry is a very small step. You know what I did? I took a chop for myself because I know that when mommy takes care of herself, everybody else gets taken care of. And guess what? After I served the entire dinner, there was still another chop left. Now, I can tell you that I wouldn't have been in a mood for a chop at the end of dinner because, it's too late. And what's the point? And I might as well just have a coffee and a piece of cake. And again, devastating effects when we go, it's fine. We keep on taking care of everyone else. We don't stop to listen to what's going on in our own body. And that's often detriment to ourselves as well. I remember we had this Roborock spinning around at my mother's house and we were looking at it and we're going, is it a male or is it a female? After all, you have to name this thing, don't you? Anyway, we were thinking about it and suddenly we hear the Roborock going back to charge, going back to duck to recharge. And I said, that's it. It's a male because it's going back to recharge. If it would be a female, we'd find her dead under the dining room table. And that's what we do. We push ourselves beyond our limits. We don't listen to what's going on in our body and we keep on going to our own detriment and keep on ignoring ourselves. Some techniques that we have is we hold ourselves back from yelling because we don't want to hurt another person, but we end up hurting them in different ways. Have you ever experienced somebody's cold silence and you're going, is everything okay? It's fine. You know, it's not fine. And sometimes we feel just, can you yell at me already? Can you stop ignoring me? Because when we have no interaction, it is actually more painful than when we have an interaction that we don't like. That's what happens. We take action that actually ends up hurting the other person more. And because the stress keeps on building up in us and we have no way to release it, what ends up happening is that we either need to explode and boom, there's no filters there. Or as one of my clients taught me, we implode. That's when the explosion happens inside of ourselves. And that's often what I would do. And it's horrible when we implode because it looks like this. I come into the room and the dishwasher hasn't been unpacked. The table is still left. I've served the dinner, I've served the chops, I've served the delicious leftover piantas, and the table is strewn with dishes. Nobody thought to pick up their own dish. So now I'm imploding. So it's like, oh, can't anybody see around here? And then it's like, well, it's all your fault, Mindy. If you would have raised your children with consistency from when they were 13 months old, they wouldn't be doing this. And boom, boom, bash, bash. And this is what we do to release that pressure. And nobody gets anywhere fast. But with the triple Y method that we are going to learn today, you will get to where you want to go. You will get to where you want to go. It is like you have a map in your hand of where am I now? Where is my destination? And how can I get there? And this is going to happen all from within you. And I love this method because I don't like people telling me what to do. I want to have the freedom to choose what I want to do. And this method gives you the freedom to do what you want to do and to do what works best for you. And when I say this is my triple Y method, I don't even know if I can say this is my method because it was something that came to me in a flash where I was working with Robertson Batren and refining my message and what is it that I want to give and what is something that I can share with people to help them understand this is the information that has come to me and this is something that could be beneficial to you. And we were just talking and suddenly it was there. It was in front of me and it was so clear. All of the years of everything that I have learned and seen and Hashem has brought me to all these places, it was like kaboom. It was right there. I was like, oh, this is it. And it is so simple and so easy to use and implement. I believe that everyone is an expert in their own lives. And when we're able to tap into our neshama, that infinite intelligence that Hashem has put inside of us, we are going to be gently guided in the best way possible for that moment in time, for your life and your set of circumstances right there. I remember I was sitting with a Kala. She was newly married and she came to me after our chasana. She was some challenges that she was having. And she was telling me about something that was distressing her. And I said to her, well, tell me, what is it that you think is the answer, the solution to what's going on for you? And she thought a little bit. And as she's thinking, I'm thinking, I don't know what to tell her. This is such an interesting situation. I wouldn't know how to deal with it. And she just came up with a solution that was simple, that was easy, that I never would have thought of doing, and that she was able to implement because it came from within her. She is the expert in her life. And this is sometimes what is hard and frustrating. And what we often do is we give the power to someone else to make the decisions in our life because we don't know ourselves well enough. We don't trust ourselves well enough. And what I want you to do today is to get a bit of a practice of getting to know yourself and to understand that there's different parts of ourselves that will ask for different things and will pull us in different directions. But the neshama knows, and we're going to go for that. We're going to go for the gold. We're going to work out what are our real needs and communicate our needs without any fear and release the stress in us so we don't have to implode or explode. What often happens though, as busy mothers and wives, is that we are listening to everybody else's needs and we hear them louder than our own needs. And we make a choice to say, I don't know, I don't have the headspace to think about what I need. I need to take care of everybody else, be it a husband or a child, a friend, a neighbor, because we don't want to hurt them. And then we say, it's fine. There's the fining. We pay the fine later, but we'll say, I'll manage without. But here's the deal. If we ignore ourselves, we end up hurting ourselves, and then inevitably a wife or a mother in pain will hurt her husband, children, and other relationships that she has, because hurt people hurt people. Have you heard that? Hurt people hurt people. Proven and tested. We think we are doing something noble by ignoring ourselves, but if we would stop and take a deeper, honest look at what's really going on, how many of us, and I know I'm speaking a little harshly, but how many of us have a secret contract with the people around us and say, I'll take care of you if you take care of me. And when they don't, which inevitably they won't because we don't read secret contracts, we get really angry and upset at them. For example, our husbands. And when we do the exploding thing or cold shoulder thing, they look at us bewildered and they're like, got this look on their face and go, what planet are you on? What language are you talking? And if you were hungry, Mindy, why didn't you just eat? They just don't get us. And then we get frustrated and go, oh, male. When you male, what's the female thinking and secret contract? If I take care of you, you take care of me. If we want to take care of others, which our job is the nurturer, as the mother, as the wife in the house, and even as just a female on this planet, we need to be taken care of so we can function at our optimum level of connection. And because, as I said before, we are the experts on our own life. Only we know what we need in a given moment. We are the ones who hold the answer. And it is unfair to expect other people to know what we need 24/7. As intuitive, I want to ask you, because as intuitive as we are as women, and we might be good at knowing what others need, I want to see if you can, I just want to see in the chat, what if you can answer me this honestly. Have you always guessed everybody's needs in your life correctly? Yes or no? Just a yes or a no answer. Give yourself a minute to write that in the chat. Oh. Anybody else? Oh, no, because it's impossible, as intuitive as we are. Now, we have to understand the people around us don't necessarily have that intuition, because only we know what we, oh, Shoshana, we try. We try. But again, my point is that we are not always successful. And what we need to do is to understand that it is unfair to expect other people to know what we need, because we ourselves can't do it, and it puts enormous strain on our relationships when we expect that of the other person, be it a husband, a friend, etc. Expectations, as Brené Brown says, are resentments waiting to happen. I'll say that again. And I just want to know if that resonates with you. A yes or a no. Expectations are resentments waiting to happen. Does that resonate? Yes. When we have these expectations, yes. Thank you. Thanks for your feedback. It helps me feel like there's some people watching. Thank you, Sarit, Ariella, Karen. Great. Okay. So this is what we are noticing, that we are building up this expectation and it's only a resentment waiting to happen. The problem that I see amongst women is that we hold shame around wanting. We tell ourselves it's not okay to want. And then the doubt steps in. Well, if I need something, maybe I'm needy. And so then we ask for it in funny ways, or we don't ask. It's like that typical example. We're going on a hike, you're thirsty, and you turn to your husband and go, are you thirsty? And he answers no. And then we get upset because didn't he get? No, he didn't get. He needs to hear it straight out from you. So when we feel that when we're needy, then we get scared. Am I allowed to ask? Am I not allowed to ask? And that's why I think it's important for you to also get that lecture on CEN, childhood emotional neglect, because it will also help you understand how difficult it is to express your needs if you didn't have that when you were growing up. And we all have that in different ways. It's not only necessarily in physical needs, it is also in, basically, it's around the emotional world of ours. So we look to approval for others. Is it okay that I want it? Is it okay that I need it? Is it okay? Can you give it to me? And we're all wishy-washy about it. And when they don't pick up on the cues, or they say, nah, it's okay, not necessary, then we grumble about doing. Then they grumble about doing. Let's say we finally get them to do it. So, I really need some extra help. Can you do the dishwasher, please? And then we're looking for approval, and we see that they're grumbling. Okay, mommy, I'll do the dishwasher. And they're doing it with a boom, 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 bang. And then we get upset. Like, how could you do that? And then we say, forget it. I can do it myself. Famous last words. Because we are waiting for their approval to say it is okay for you to need it. Okay, just stop here, because I know I've been talking a lot. And just check in. What's coming up for you? Karen, that sounds familiar. What's coming up for you as you're listening to all these things? What are you noticing? Is there some, even if it's a physical symptom, like a bit of constriction around your neck, or if there's a little part of you laughing and feeling like you're being seen, even though the screen is dark? Bring me back to a feeling of tension, being seen. That's what I wish for all of you. I want you to feel like I'm seeing you, like I get you. Is anybody feeling like, nah, doesn't resonate? In my chest a little, Shoshana. Ariella, thank you. So let's continue on. So when we learn to communicate clearly without any guessing aloud, we are able to be fully ourselves, and we don't get dragged in our lives, and we're not looking around for approval from everybody else. We're okay that we need something, and we're able to really listen in. And sometimes we think we want one thing, and until we take an honest look at ourselves, we don't realize that we are pushing away the very thing that we wish for. I want to give you an example. And again, if you could just give me some feedback around that example, because this is something that I've noticed, and I want to know if it's something that relates to you as well. So I wish that I would have somebody who was intuitive and was able to perceive my needs without me having to ask for it. That's a wish of mine. So I think that's what I want, right? And what I noticed was, when I'm sitting at the Shabbos table, my kids know that I like to have this much orange juice in my cup, this much, and no more. So on Shabbos, when they bring the drinks to the table, there's always a bit of a kerfuffle. Who's pouring the drink for mommy? And then one kid goes, okay, mommy, here it is. And I'm listening inside. Here are my children, beautiful children, who are intuitive, who have noticed over time and have seen over time that this is the amount of orange juice I want. They want to make me happy. They want to serve me. And I thought that's what I wanted, but I'm noticing as they're doing it, there's a part of me that feels really uncomfortable. And it's like, leave it. I'll do it myself. It's okay. I can pour myself a cup of orange juice. You don't have to. Is that something that you've noticed about yourself? That you want something, but when it happens, you go, I don't want it. Or there's a part that is protesting against it. Anybody out there who gets what I'm saying? Yes, Ariella, thank you for your contribution. Sarit, to you too. Julie, we haven't heard from you. I don't know if you're able to chat, but maybe even give us a shout out. So this is something that we often do that we don't even know. Okay, thank you, Shoshana. Thanks. I feel guilty taking. Yep. So we want to get something, but then when we get it, there's this guilty feeling. Like, even if it's something as simple as orange juice, and then Karen, you're saying, do you mean it's hard to receive? And I'm not talking about this specific example, but for a lot of us women, thank you for bringing that up. For a lot of us women, and we'll answer together with Shoshana, is yes, it is hard to receive. We are so often in the giving mode. To be able to stop and allow that to come inside of ourselves can often be a difficult thing. I want to give you an example. One of my clients, she was going away for Yom Tov, and she had called up her hostess, and her hostess says, do you want anything? Do you have any special dietary requirements? So she said, I don't need anything, Dafka, but I like spelt challah, and if you have it, then I'll be happy to eat from yours. But if not, I'll just go and buy myself. Oh, we're hearing from Julie. Thank you. I used to, but not anymore. Julie, I'd love to hear what you've done to move out of that space. Good for you. Good for you. This is a real growth. So I said so she was sharing with me that she felt so uncomfortable because what happened was the hostess, Erev Yom Tov, baked a batch of challahs for her that was spelt. And I said, stop right there. Can you take it in that somebody cared about you and wanted to provide for you? And she was like, it's too hard. Like, why would somebody do that for me? And this opened up a whole session that sometimes, we wish for all the good things. We wish to get good things, but when they come, it is difficult to receive it and to be open and to graciously open ourselves up. That's why when I deliver my course, it's divided into 3. We first work on our relationship between ourselves and ourselves, because if we want to be able to be a keli that can connect to another, we need to first build ourselves up, then connect to Hashem, and then from there we connect to our husbands or others. So when we learn to communicate clearly, we don't guess, we don't allow for guessing, we're not so dragged down by life. And sometimes it happens. You might have felt that this morning. Another morning, get the kids out, got to do the same routine. Sometimes we feel like the vibrancy and the joy that we used to have as little kids has been sucked out. And when we feel like that, we want to just run away. Why do we want to run away? Because we are wired to stay away from pain. It doesn't feel good. We don't want to face it. We subconsciously tell ourselves, I can't handle this. And we have all these subconscious ways of running away from the pain, so we don't face our life and see what's coming up and the feelings and the emotions. Because the difficult emotions that we don't want to experience, we keep on stuffing down, stuffing away, so that we don't have to face it. And the ways that we run away are all different. Everybody has their own way. If you know what your way of running away is, you can write it in the chat, or I'm going to read you out a list that I've come up with, and you can then tell me what resonates or doesn't. Maybe we eat more than we know is good for us, or the opposite, where we become wrapped up in health trends. For some people, the way they run away from their pain is to get involved in positive thinking courses, which have a lot of, and manifestation courses, which have a lot of good things to give. But if they're not built up on foundations where we have been with the pain, it's pretty much like a seed that has to, this is an analogy given by Derek Riddell. It's like a seed that goes into the ground. It has to actually die and disintegrate before it can set its roots, and there's death all around it in the ground. And then slowly it develops its roots, and then it can build up from the inside out, from underneath out. And then as wide and as long as its roots are, that's how tall and how wide the tree will end up being, and it will be secure. Because if it is taken out of the ground and brought to the sunlight, let's think positively, bring her out to the sunlight, what's going to end up happening is, if she doesn't develop the roots from the difficult situations, it's going to be a tree, a big tree, an amazing manifested tree that can just get blown over in the next wind. And what we want to do is develop our deepest roots, and that happens when we face the pain that we are in. Sometimes we find other people's drama to focus on and talk about, even if it's about rescue them, not making the phone calls we need to make, or not getting off the phone, playing mindless games like Snake, of course, scrolling on your phone, over efforting at work or in relationships. So that's when you're in a relationship that is not an easy give and take. And what ends up happening is that you're putting in more effort than the other person is committed or willing to invest. I'm sure you get the drift. So let's just check in. We have one example, which is eat more. Thank you. Anybody else has any examples of how they run away? So let's move on. When things come to a point of ridiculousness, we finally
Oh,
agree.
Julie is actually raising her hand.
Sorry. Yeah, hi, Julie. Thank you. It was so nice to
I
hear
think
your
it's
voice.
on mute. 1 second.
Oh, lovely to
Okay,
see you.
go ahead, Julie.
Can I speak?
Yeah.
Please, would love to hear.
Okay, a long time ago gave up on expecting my kids or my husband or anyone to take care of me, because I realized that, like, that being in a place of, like, needing to be taken, needing to be appreciated or taken care of or whatever, it, like it was it was not a it was not a nice, it was not a it was a disappointing place to be. And you know um I just decided that I need to take care of myself, and I need to give to myself, and that's it. And I lost hope in trying to get it from there. So I went on a you know I went on a path of just being good to myself and taking care of myself and doing what makes me happy, and and uh and that's it. So I just don't grapple with it anymore. I mean, there are points definitely that, you know, I there's somewhere deep inside that, like, I really would I'm hopeful that, like, it's gonna come through, or he's gonna come through. And it's like a hard, it's a painful place, and a disappointing place. But, like, I just have to, breathe through it and let it go and go on, because, like, it's just it's or you stay in it, or you leave, or you get out of it, and then and so
Well,
that's
good
it.
for you. Good for you, Julie, because if we are waiting with expectation and it's not happening, then we end up losing ourselves. But when we're able to say, I'm a person and I deserve to be treated in this way, just like I take care of everybody else, then you are taken care of. And since you've made that decision, what has that done for you in your life to take care of yourself? What have you noticed has shifted and changed as a result of that?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. One thing that's not good about it is that
Well, that's Julie, 1 second. That's a judgment. Tell me one thing without any judgment.
I'm just happy. I'm happy with that. I'm happy,
And as
you
a
know.
result,
And I'm
as a
and I'm and I and I'm what's it called? I'm not I don't I'm not worried about people's opinions about me, and I love myself and I accept myself and I trust myself, and that's it. And that's what it's all about. And we have to empower ourselves to feel that way.
Yeah.
It's
So,
empowering. It's very empowering.
yeah. So I can't see what's not good about that. That sounds beautiful.
The not good side of it is that I'm I'm resilient to the external negativity, especially in when it comes into, with my spouse.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when he does things that are hurtful or says things that are hurtful, I don't often fall apart because of it, and I don't, but we never work it through.
Okay. I'm hearing that. And again, that's something, if you were interested in taking my course, that's something we'd have to talk about if this was the right thing for you to help you work it through. But what I'm hearing is there are so many amazing qualities that you have gone through all on your own, and you've gotten to such a good place. I don't think, again, without judging, but it's not effective to fall apart when somebody's criticizing you. Would you like it to stop? Would you like it to move through it? For sure. And that's something that we can do with assistance.
I know how to do that also.
Okay, there you go. So go out there and do it.
I know how to
Okay.
do it also. I can move through it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it doesn't build a relationship. It's just more
Okay.
taking care of me
Yes. Yes.
and
And
more.
sometimes that's what's required. Julie,
Right.
I'm going to have to continue, but we can have this conversation in another space. I'm going to call out what Shoshana said. Procrastinate other necessary activities with older, younger adult, teenage, and young marrieds. Do you feel it's something we can repair even if it takes a long time? I don't think it has to take a long time. It can take time, but it doesn't have to take a long time. Okay. And thank you, Shoshana, for being here. It was
And
lovely to have you on. I hope you're getting the rest of the recording as we speak. So let's move on. Because relationships are important to you, you're always trying to learn and grow in this area, trying to figure out the secrets of life that will enhance your marriage and find out, how can I have this conversation? How do I get to know what my needs are without hurting those who I love? And how can I become aware of my own inner self so I can begin to listen to my intuition, my inner knowing, trust it, trust myself, and develop more courage to discuss this and move this through with my husband in a less judgmental way? When we understand our inner system, we have more understanding of ourselves and others, which means we are going to live a freer life. When we think it's beyond our grasp, we shut down, we're not creative, we don't have any solutions, and we're banging our heads against a brick wall. We want to live a freer life. We want to breathe more easily. We want to be creative and have solutions, and we want to be proactive and not reactive. So what do we do when we achieve this state? We take courses, we listen to Shiori, and we might try some techniques like today that may or may not work. But what ends up happening, though, we find that we keep on going back to the reactive state. And the reason that it's not working, and Julie, I'm wondering if you're resonating with this, is that you have to go to the core. The way that we operate as human beings is that we need to go to the core, because if we don't go to the core, we haven't understood ourselves deeply enough and been able to work from, as I was saying about the roots, from inside up. The second thing is that we need to integrate this into our life. It's got to be simple enough and fun enough to integrate it. So I want you to take something that is an issue for you that you would like to work through today. It might be something relevant to you and your husband, or it might be a relationship that is a different relationship. It doesn't necessarily have to be with a spouse that you have an issue with. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on some brain spotting music that we had at the beginning. And let me get it going. Should be able to hear it. If you can just give me a heads up that you can hear the music. Yes, great. All right. You're going to take something that's an issue for you. Doesn't have to be a big deal. And that's okay. Could be a little issue, could be a big issue. Whatever you feel is important for you to work on today with the relationship with another person. And I want you to look around the room as you relax. And pick a spot that intuitively speaks to you, that you feel will be the right spot for you to gaze at. Take a deep breath in when you feel like you found that spot. You can close your eyes. You can look away from that spot. Just check it between 1 to 10. When you think about this issue, what's your level of stress? Don't overthink it, whatever number comes to you. Between 1 and 10. And let it go. What we're going to do is, we're going to do the 3 steps. Step 1 is face yourself. Step 2 is know yourself. And step 3 is act yourself. I'm going to walk you through this. The first step, face yourself. Without judgment, take a look at that interaction that you are having with that person. And scan your body. What are you feeling inside your body? What are the messages that your body is giving you? I want you to give that image, that sensation, a picture or a word. Something may come up for you now, or it may come up for you later. Just allow it to be. There's no way you can do this wrong. Your brain is supporting you in doing your work. Even if you don't necessarily know what's happening, your body knows. It's been supporting you all the way until now. And breathe in to bring some more oxygen to your system. As we gently move on to the next step. Know yourself. So after we are aware of something coming up in our body, whether we face ourselves, an emotion, constriction, an expansion, I want you to get to know this part of you a little better. So if anger came up, get to know the anger a little better and ask, what's going on? What are you afraid will happen if you don't get angry or sad? There's a feeling of being choked in your throat. What's going on? What's making you feel so choked? Can you tell me what your story is? maybe now, or maybe later, I want you to gently give that part of you a symbol, a picture, or a word. And you don't have to force anything. As the music flows and the river flows, allow this to come over you. And then check in with this part that came up for your attention. Check in with this part and ask it, what do you need from me? What is it that you need me to say or do? And the answer might come now, or it may come later. Stay present with it. Wherever you are is where you are meant to be. And when you feel it's complete, you can gently come back. Bring your awareness to the seat that you're sitting on. Give yourself a shake about, and maybe you need some more time. That's okay. You can come back. I'll be waiting for you, and we can do it again. Look around the room, up and down, all around. Give yourself a stretch. Blink, 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 and smile. Welcome back. And now, if you can just give me a sense, what came up for you when we talked about face yourself? And even if nothing came up, if you can just write nothing, because nothing is also something. In brain spotting, nothing is something. What came up for you when we did the face yourself? Was it an emotion? Be yourself. Ariella, thank you. What came up for you as you were going through the steps? Face yourself. Know yourself. Act yourself. Did anybody find this helpful? You are okay. The message, you are okay. What was that like for you? Definitely. Thank you. What was that like for you to receive that message? You are okay. Soothing. Beautiful. Be yourself. It's okay. It's okay. Look what beautiful messages we get. Accept yourself. Look what beautiful messages everybody's getting. Incredible. Good work for you. So now the reason that this method works is because it's working with our body, not against it. We're not telling our bodies what to think. We are meeting it where we are. And we are also facing the truth, because facing the discomfort of the truth is always more preferable than the comfort of the shiny lie. So this is something that I am offering you for free, because this is what I feel is important to share with all of you over here and those who are going to listen to the recording. This is only a taste of the things you are going to get in my course when you sign up for Mastering Relationships Level 1, Unite 1. It is a course that's going to be given on November the, Karen, do you have the dates? And do you want to put in the subscribe for the chat? It's starting November the 21. It's going to be Thursdays, 11:30 a.m. Eretz Yisrael time, 9:30 a.m. English time. So we're offering it to the European as well as those in Eretz Yisrael. We're going to be doing brain spotting, IFIO, inspiration, visualizations to help you tap into your inner self. We're going to learn about the 6 sparks of connection. There's a lot that we can speak about, but I'd rather keep you posted if you're interested in the course, and then I can walk you through it. We are going to be, this is a course that is for everybody, not just for people. Thank you. Course starts November the 21st, Thursdays, 11:30 a.m. Eretz Yisrael time. I am also going to be giving an intimacy package, which helps you already start unblocking your intimacy blockages for those who want to bring more flow back in their life. So you can start that before the class starts. If you sign up to the class within 24 hours of this Zoom going out to the public. So if you have any questions, you can email me, mindle@livinginunity.au. I think that's it, right? Karen, is there anything else that I need to say without holding anybody up past too much of the...
No, it's fine. I want to know if anybody has any questions that they want to ask Mindy, either about the course or about this method. I just want to mention also that this recording will be available right after. So anybody who registered will receive an email with this recording. Those of you who came on late or those of you who are not here, you'll be able to see this and hear this again. And this is an amazing course that Mindy is offering. She's done it so many times already. And she has college teachers that she's trained that are taking even the next level right now. They're doing it again, and some that are continuing on to the next level. You want to mention just the other 2 levels just very quickly, what the difference is?
Sure. Yeah, so we have the 6 sparks of connection, which is where we learn the basis of every relationship, whether it's our husbands, other people, Hashem, and ourselves. And we go through that extensively, and also understanding it on a much deeper level. Can I give an example of what we work through? So let's say, for example, acceptance. So people go, well, I have to accept my husband the way he is. That's not acceptance. I stop them right there and I say, can you accept that what he is doing is difficult for you? And we stay with that. And when we're able to do that, there is so much growth and openness in the relationship. Then when we pretend to accept something, we don't accept it, we repress it, and then it becomes a blockage between us and our husbands. So that's just one example of acceptance. There's a lot more, and I'm happy to walk those people who are interested in through all the things that we're going to be, acceptance, respect, trust, resolution, appreciation, time. These are all words that we bandy about, but it's getting to know these concepts on a deeper level in ways that work for us. Anything else, Karen? Yeah, you want to know about the different levels. After we do that, we go through that basics, and that this is for all women. Then we have level 2, which is the art of intimacy. And that's really, again, looking at intimacy in a way that works with our body and not against it. I feel like there's been a flood of information for women, which is a very good thing. But I think we have to take it with a lot of caution, because a lot of women have come under the pressure of having to be a certain way, because they keep on being told that they need to perform in a certain way because this is their gift in life. When we're not working together with a woman and together with her body and together with the stresses. And when people take this intimacy course, they feel so validated. Here is somebody that is listening to me and with me. And again, it's like that tree that we were talking about, going deeper within the roots. Instead of taking this little seed out of the ground and going, well, here's the sunlight, here's your amazing husband who loves you. But rather, it's getting us to get the roots deeper down, looking at the stuff that is coming up for us, so then we can then grow big and we're a solid tree. We don't get blown over by the next wind. I hope that's clear to you. Yes, and if you register for Mastering Relationships course within the 24 hours, you will receive a free intimacy course valued at $250 US. And then we have level 3, but that is particular to color teachers. The first 2 levels are for those who want to join. Level 3 is for color teachers who want to take their training further, and they want to do an intensive color teacher training, but it has to be done based on level 1 and 2. You can't just jump to level 3, because we want everybody, whoever comes out of this program, to have the same understanding when they go out and teach colors, that they're meeting the colors where they are. And I want you to be able to have this course, and I want to meet you and see you where you are. And it has been an incredible experience for me to be able to deliver this course. I'm so grateful, and I'm looking forward to meeting you and even finding a time to talk if you're not sure if this is right for you, that we can talk it through and check out, is this good for you? And maybe there's something that is really precious waiting for you around the corner. Hatzlacha. So for more information, questions, email me at mindel@livinginunity.au. You can reach out to Karen and she can put me in touch with you if you'd like to set up a time to talk. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mindy. Anybody have a question or two just before we leave, before Mindy signs off? Okay, this is amazing. I felt like it was so many good tools that we received just even today. And this course seems so incredible, like Mamash, to help you with any relationship. I mean, for sure in, marriage, but it's so important to have proper communication skills, so important to know yourself and to really understand who you are, know where you're coming from when you're reacting, when you're, communicating with others. And this was just like amazing. And it was so good. The meditation was so calming. It was really great.
Yeah. This is all part of the course. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Very, very special, Mindy. I really appreciate it. It's 9 hours ahead of us right now. It's the middle of the evening for Mindy.
20 to 10 p.m. Getting close to my bedtime.
We wish you a
Karen,
good day.
This was so beautiful to meet your crew and meet your group. So grateful. Do you want to take off the recording? Do you want to take off the recording in case sometimes people don't want to ask questions when the recording is on? Do you want to take off the recording and offer?
Sure.